Ladies and gentlemen, I actually haven't spoken with Warren, but I just received an email from Warren H., otherwise known as Warren Hunt. It says, Michael, I am being moved from a ICU unit to a high dependency for a while. They have gotten my blood pressure to come up to near normal levels. I am in high dependency now due to the pain, but am expected to go back to the normal ward soon. Signed, Warren. And let me read to you what a high dependency ward is, and then you will understand what Warren and where Warren is. A high dependency unit is an area in a hospital usually located close to the intensive care unit, where patients can be cared for more extensively than on a normal ward, but not to the point of intensive care. It is appropriate for patients. It is appropriate for patients who have had major surgery and for those with single organ failure. So for the people on YouTube who are interested and want to send some love to Warren, please do so in the comments section of this video. I'm sure he would appreciate it. And I'll go to the comments now. I have a little bit of time before I head into the city. And if someone wants to come on and say hello, I'd be more than happy to do so. That's all the information I can share as far as an update is concerned, other than that I have been in constant contact with Warren since day one, although now probably 6 days have gone by since I've gotten a message, because Warren was in an ICU unit from before Christmas, from around the 21st of December. And 5 days ago, he said he escaped from the ICU unit so that he could send me a message, and that he would be out of that unit, according to the doctors, for his 50th birthday, which is, it's a darn shame that he didn't get to spend his 50th birthday online with us on Sunday. So that's my only message. That's my only update. I'm sure that once Warren gets out, he'll give me a call, and I'll be able to give you further updates. So I guess this is going to be one of my shorter live streams, because all I see is some troll on here who's about to get removed permanently. What does Trump said have to do with anything I said? Nothing. So that's what trolls do. They come on and they try to disrupt your show. They try to disrupt your live stream. I guess I should talk about professional trolls who will come on to your live stream and make Page High. Just one, let me finish this thought, Page High. Professional trolls will come on to your live stream and on average make one comment a minute until they are recognized, and within a few more comments, they expect your live stream. So if that's happening to you and you're not aware of it, you should be aware of it. So let me read Page High's comment, because Page High is in fact a doctor. Page High, welcome, Page High. Thank you for stopping by. Page High says, the medical term is called step-down unit. The medical term is called step-down unit. but is very, the medical term is called step-down unit, but usually very close to the ICU, but reduced to nurse to patient ratio. Yes, prayers to him. Let's go, Warren. Hello, Princess Anud. That's quite. I saw that you were going to do a live stream, and you posted that sexy picture of you laying down. I got a kick out of that. Welcome to the machine, Princess Anud. I'm not going to stay on long, but Paige High, I would thank you. Step-down unit is a new term for me. I did read what a high dependency unit is, so because I'm not familiar with any of these terms, but I do appreciate you coming. So basically what you said is, so instead of doctor-patient ratio or doctor-patient connection, there's a nurse-to-patient connection. So, Sinsimo, welcome to the machine. Sinsimo says, hi, Michael. Send my best wishes to him and God bless. Father Pimperson, Father Fazio, tell the Pope I said hello. Scott Del Fuego is in the house. Pimperson, that's a good one. Thank you. I'll tell the Pope you said hello. The wordsmith is here. The word is, Scott, that I received a message. I'll read it again from Warren H. I received an email early this morning. It's a text. It's not on Skype. It says, Michael, I am being moved from ICU to a high dependency for a while. My blood pressure to come up to normal levels. I am in high dependency now due to the pain, but I'm expected to go back to a normal ward soon. Warren, signed Warren. And I'll read you what a high dependency unit is again. A high dependency unit is what Dr. Paige High described as a step-down unit. A high dependency unit is an area in a hospital usually located close to the intensive care unit where patients can be cared for more extensively on a normal ward, but not to the point of intensive care. It is appropriate for patients who have had major surgery and for those with single organ failure. And I will tell everybody that Warren H. was resuscitated back in December when his blood pressure went so low. They brought him to the ICU unit, and that stopped, and he had to be resuscitated. And that's my update. That's I think I just answered that question. Sinsimo, he's in an ICU unit since December 21st. And no, he can't post. He's been out of the ICU unit for about 4 hours since December 21st. And I spoke with him on one of those two occasions. And that's when he posted, I think, a singular update. Princess Anud, you retracted your message. So, I'm actually going to be, it's 7:30 here. I've been up since 5. I'm preparing to go to the city for an hour or so. I'm going to go back and pick up my, this is going to be the 11th trip to the cell phone store, but I don't go to the city specifically for that. But I do need a cell phone, and it is supposed to have been repaired. I did a live stream last week on getting things repaired in the Philippines. I can't show you the unit, but I had a battery charger for Milwaukee 12 and 18 volt batteries that I went into Build-A-Ware in Tagbilaran City, and the gentleman, I asked him how much was the unit for a new one, because it's a 110 volt unit that I had, and I bought that in America when I was there in March and April, and I plugged it into 220 mistakenly. I didn't have my glasses on, and I have a converter, and I just plugged it into the wrong outlet, and I blew up what is the equivalent of a fuse. So they have those same units here in the Philippines. So I'll give you a cost of living in the Philippines update as well. But more importantly than the cost of living in the Philippines, I will give you typically the scenario that the Philippines businesses, what they'll do to you when you want something repaired, even considering they have all access to buy the parts and repair the unit. They will typically tell you, this is not repairable, sir. You'll have to buy a new unit. That happened with my computer, which was easily repaired, and it happened with my cell phone, which was easily repaired. The computer person said, we can't get you a keyboard or a screen for my Asus computer, and it was 6 years old at the time. So I just went out and bought a separate screen, a large screen, this big screen here. So all the computer technician had to do was say, Mr. Fazio or Michael, whatever he wants to call me, you can buy, a separate screen for $100, and that will solve the problem. But he didn't do that. He said, this computer's not repairable. Best you buy a new one for about 65,000 pesos or $1,300. The same, Scott, I'll get to that message in just one moment, please. The second issue I bought an Oppo cell phone. I brought it back to the dealer a year and a half, maybe 2 years later, and they said they don't fix it anymore, but the store next door fixes the Oppo cell phones. However, I went to the technician. He said 600 pesos for this part here, 600 pesos for the motherboard, and he said, come back in an hour, and I didn't. I ended up going back twice, and when I came back the second time, he said that this motherboard was not available. Sir, it's best you buy a new cell phone. The problem with that is I paid 7,000 pesos for the phone, and the repair of the phone would have been 600 pesos plus the labor. So when I looked at the cell phones he was suggesting, he was talking about a 9,000 peso cell phone, which would be the equivalent to what I had. And I just didn't want to spend $180. I wanted it repaired. It was 2 years old at maximum. So I declined, and that was over a year ago, because it was well over a year ago. And then I found a repair shop, which not only repaired my cell phone, but the repair shop did it for 1,800 pesos. And both men knew that this motherboard was the problem within minutes of looking at the cell phone. So the first gentleman, and I use that word loosely, next to the Oppo store in the BQ Mall, the first man said this part is 600 pesos, but it's not available from Oppo or anybody else, which is ridiculous. It's only a year and a half old. The second man looked at the cell phone for about 30 seconds, and he said, it's your motherboard. We can get the part. It's available. It'll cost you 600 pesos for the part, and I'm going to charge you 1,200 pesos to install the part. So this is he did not try to sell me a cell phone because he was a certified cell phone repair shop. But what they'll do in the Philippines is they'll tell you that this is not repairable, buy a new one. So the new computer would have cost 65,000 pesos to replace the computer I have on my desk. When all I did was go out and buy a separate screen, and the computer is now, it's now a year and a half and it's still working fine. And the cell phone, the man fixed for 1,800 pesos or $36. So I spent $36 to repair the cell phone rather than 180. So when they tell you something isn't repairable, buy a new one, they don't care how much money you spend. And they don't. The funny thing about the Philippines is that even that you don't buy the computer or the cell phone in their store, the Philippines, any Philippines agency that sells cell phones or computers is going to benefit from your purchase. They don't necessarily seem to, demand you buy it from their store. They just want you to spend the money. And it's so common to live here and to hear, just get new, sir, buy new, sir. And then you say, why should I buy new? And they will say, you have many money. You have many money, sir, just buy new. And they repeat it as if they're trying to brainwash you. So the cell phone man fixed it, but now I'm going back to that store 11 times. And the battery charger for the Milwaukee battery charger, this is a Milwaukee flashlight. This is an 18-volt Milwaukee battery. It's an 18-volt lithium battery from Milwaukee. The charger, I plugged it in mistakenly into a 220 outlet because I was in a hurry. And the outlets are right next to each other. And I just turned around and jammed it into an outlet and I have my outlets marked and everything. That was the crazy part about that, is that my outlets are marked 110 and 220, but I didn't have my glasses on. And they're right next to each other. And I was just in a little bit of a hurry, and I just turned around. And I'm so used to plugging in 220 volt, objects, because everything here is 220. I might have plugged in and plugged out, plugged and unplugged. Daisy and I were working on a project. I may have plugged in and unplugged something, I don't know, 50 times would be realistic in one day. And I just went to my normal routine of plugging it into 220. So the battery charger was, when I went to the store, this is what they'll do. They don't necessarily, I gotta tell you, it's funny living here. You have to pay attention to every word that the people here in the Philippines say to you. So when I asked them how much the battery charger replacement in the 220 volt version was at Build-A-Ware, they said to me, the man went over to the wall and looked at it, because it was very small. You couldn't see the number. I couldn't see it without my glasses, and he couldn't see it without getting 6 inches away. And he said, 3,000 pesos, sir. Well, I said, okay, I'll buy that. And he disappeared for 20 minutes. He had to go to 2 different places, and he came back with one. But he didn't go back to the wall where the price was. I said, how much is that unit? He said, 3,999 pesos, which is 30% more than what he quoted me. Or it was 4,000 pesos, basically $80. So he already knew that it was 3,999. So I said, I will not buy that. I'll buy it someplace else, even if I pay that much money, but I won't buy it from you because you lied to me. So I went to a repair shop that repairs electronics, televisions, VCR units, or whatever, the DVD units, any kind of electronics. I brought the battery charger to the electronics store. He took out the 3 screws that hold the case together, and he put his ohm meter on the unit. And 10 seconds later, he said, this capacitor or fuse, it wasn't a fuse like where people my age are used to. It was just a little, it looked like the half of a cigarette butt. That's how big it was. And it looked like a cigarette butt, same color. He said, we can buy that part for 100 pesos, and it'll be 200 pesos to repair it. So instead of spending 4,000 pesos, because I knew where the electronics repair store was, I saved 3,700 pesos, or $74. And it took one day. I could have bought the part and went back, but I was in a hurry. So if you know how to move around the city, and you know what you're looking for, and you have any kind of savvy with, the people here, then you can get a lot of stuff fixed. So I'm still working on one more thing that burnt out from 220 also. But so in 300 pesos versus 4,000, and I saved $75, and I got my part repaired. Now it has a big marker on it, 110 only. But my cell phone, one cell phone company wouldn't repair it, the other company wouldn't repair it, trying to sell me a cell phone. That was 1,800 pesos to have it repaired, as opposed to 9,000 to replace the unit. So I saved 7,000 pesos on one item, and 3,700 pesos. I saved 10,700 pesos, or $220, just by bringing it to shops that would repair it. So if you're interested in saving money, you have to learn how to shop here. And typically, if the shop can't fix it, they'll tell you who can fix it, even if they're trying to sell you the part. So that's just something I wanted to make you aware of. So I saved, in just 1 hour, because the places were next to each other, in 1 hour, over $200 by shopping properly. Scott Del Fuego, the wordsmith, welcome to the machine. Again, Warren has been in ICU since December 21st. He is now supposed to be transferred to a high dependency unit suitable for extra care, but not at the level of ICU. Fazio got a brief text explaining this. Okay, so that was directed towards Sinsimo Travel. Thank you, Scott. Sinsimo, he is trying to upsell you. Happens everywhere, but certain countries upsell 4 to 2. And that's true about the Philippines. They will. I could tell you a really disgusting story about purchasing an Acer computer, and I will. This way, people that come to this channel, they'll know that they'll know more information about coming to my channel than they will from most others, Philippines bloggers, because a lot of Philippines bloggers, they don't actually. What do they show you? Why are they even posting videos? Repetition of daily update costs, like they spent, I don't know, 385 pesos on beer, and they'll give you their food costs for the month. I mean, they'll do a monthly vlog on how much it costed them to live for 2 years running. Excuse me. The same beach scenario, the same one all the time, same one, but no interaction between the people. From any Philippines blogger that I've watched, there was basically zero interaction, except there are channels that I don't watch that do have interaction, but I don't like that channel, or I don't watch that channel rather. So I tell you that what's possible here and what's not possible. Like the video I just posted about Bohol tourists destinations. Just look it up, Bohol tourist destinations. I give you. Why did I do that video? It seems as if I had a few comments saying that I was talking negative about the streets of the Bohol. Well, if you watch the video, you'll understand that at any given moment, walking down the streets, because they don't have sidewalks, there are sewer plates that run along the length of the roadways. At any given moment, there could be a hole big enough for you to fall through your whole body. Not here, but in Cebu for sure, and hundreds of places in Cebu. But also in Manila and other bigger cities. So I was at an office. Let's just say I was at an office last week before I did that video, and I was talking to another man that was waiting for an official to speak with him on a different matter, and he had a pair of paratrooper boots on, laced tight, and he had a pair of shorts on and high socks. And I said to the man, "Those are really nice boots, man. Where did you?" Because I would wear those boots in a heartbeat, because they prevent your ankle from getting twisted when you're jumping out of an aircraft, out of a plane or a helicopter, or rappelling. So he said he was in Manila, and he bought the boots in Manila. And I said, "Well, why do you wear them?" Because he wasn't walking around on the streets. He goes, "Because last year I broke my ankle and my leg walking and falling into a hole in Manila." So, and this guy was a big, strapping, well-built guy. And I said, "Really?" And that's why I started doing the videos about the streets. He was a very athletic man, but he wasn't watching where he walked. And he did, in fact, say he broke his ankle and his leg in one of those holes. So my video, Bohol Tourist Destinations, is about, and I show you several holes like that, where a bicycle wheel or a motorcycle wheel or a foot, especially a baby's foot, or walking around at night without a flashlight. Oh my God, you could be in some serious trouble. Like when I walk around at night, I always carry this Milwaukee flashlight with me, which is very powerful. It'll actually light up a 30-foot circle on the side of a building. It will light up. That's how powerful this little flashlight is. I suggest Milwaukee over any other brand, and they do sell Milwaukee in the Philippines now. But do not walk around the streets at night without a flashlight. Let's get back to Scott Del Fuego's comment. Scott says, "The poop is slapping people that seek healing. It's fit." Okay, I can't. Hold on a second. Let me undo this. "The poop is slapping people that seek healing in fits of visible anger." Scott is referring to the fact that the Pope slapped a woman who tried to touch his hand about 2, possibly 3 weeks ago. I take this as a sign of the destruction of values, and that the Pope no longer feels it necessary to hide his evil ways. Well, anybody that knows me or has read my book, Angels on the Ark, knows that I have referred to the Pope as the Poop. And I think if you Google, my book is in Kindle. I'll give you the book. I'll give it to you. I'll give you the link for my book. I refer to the Pope as the Poop. because I think that the Pope is running an organization that is covering up for multiple cases of felony pedophilia against children. And in the last 50 years, I do believe the research says that in the last 50 years, the Catholic Church paid out more than $10 billion to children and families of children that have been molested by religious leaders inside the Catholic organization and or the church upwards. So this is my book, Angels on the Ark, and I refer to the Pope as the Pope, and I do so with the confidence that anybody who reads my book will understand just exactly what's going on inside the Catholic Church, and that you can do a side issue and Google settlements from the Vatican. Just recently, I think there were 200 plus people that 200 plus people in a grouping of complainants against the Vatican that were each awarded $1 million. So that was a $200 million award. And I think the lawyers got another $100 million. So this book here explains the pictographs on the dollar bill. And I've even heard people say that I plagiarized this work, which is pretty sick, considering that if you Google the things that are in my book, Angels on the Ark, if you Google these things, you will not find anywhere on the internet, under any circumstances, you will not find anything that says, this is the Behold tourist destination. You will not find any information that's in my book anywhere else on the net other than in my book and in my videos. So I didn't plagiarize anybody's work, and I don't appreciate people saying I plagiarized their work, and that's not, that's pretty sick, I'll tell you that. But then again, pretty sick goes along with people saying that I plagiarized the work that I put into my book. So let's see if we can get back to, so we can get back to this. We're going to go back over to here. I'm going to post the link right now for the Angels on the Ark, in case you want to see what's really going on inside the Vatican. All right, I just got to get back to the page, and then I'll read the comments again. Wait a second. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. All right, so Hoodwinked by an Angel. This is not it. We can close that one out. Okay. Jack Thompson, welcome to the machine. Thank you very much for stopping by. So I'm gonna get you that link for my book, and I'm gonna post it 3 times, and you will find that inside my book is the most highly detailed description of the dollar bill in the world. Nobody has ever done such an in-depth study on my book. I mean, on the dollar bill than exists in my book. Nobody on this planet has ever done as much research into the symbols on the dollar bill as what's in my book. So it's 1,770 pages, and I'll read to you one small excerpt. What if someone were to tell you that the entire green side or the reverse of the back of the $1 bill was a perfect 2-scale replica of the original Ark of the Covenant given unto Moses from the Lord God, and that somehow this replica has been placed on the back of the $1 bill as part of a remnant society of peoples that coexist with our own society for some unknown reason. And I don't limit this remnant society of peoples to strictly human as we understand human to be. So if you want to read on further, I'm going to post the link right now for the book, and you can read my foreword and decide whether or not you'd like to buy it. I know Paige High said he was going to read the book last week, and he, as a doctor, he may have time to do that and he may not, but I will tell you that if you try to Google Ark of the Covenant on the dollar bill, which is what I just wrote you, and I hear stories that my book was all done from plagiarized work, I will tell you right now that if you Google Ark of the Covenant on the dollar bill, nowhere in history or time since the beginning of recorded history and or time, no one else on the face of this plane that we live on has ever said that the Ark of the Covenant is the entire reverse of the dollar bill. So I didn't plagiarize anything, and you really should probably have not said that, but as is on YouTube, you make a lot of mistakes on YouTube. I'll leave it at that. So plagiarizing another person's work would be if there were books and which you referred to me reading other people's books and plagiarizing their work. So I will challenge anyone right now, Google Ark of the Covenant on the dollar bill or dollar bill Ark of the Covenant. Google it and try and find anybody else that has ever lived throughout all of history or back to when they put the Ark of the Covenant on the dollar bill. Try to find any other human being or agency or anyone with a doctorate or any psychologist or any philosophical organization. Try to find one other reference to the Ark of the Covenant on the dollar bill other than what I have posted in my videos and put in my book, and you will not find a single reference, not from a master mason, not from anybody with ties to the Illuminati, certainly not the Vatican. I contacted the Vatican with this information and they refused to answer my emails. I contacted people in the Illuminati and they refused to talk about it. I was or am a Mason, and they refused or didn't know anything about the Ark of the Covenant being on the dollar bill or refused to talk to me about it because I wasn't at that level of Master Mason. So there is no other person in the entire known universe that has ever said the Ark of the Covenant's on the back of the dollar bill, and I didn't plagiarize anyone else's work. And accusing me of plagiarism, probably not a good thing. So let's, and of course, it's probably not a good thing. So let's go back to the, since SEMO travel bars 4-star to 2-star. Okay. Scott DeFuego says, the tips that arise from Michael's video stories and just exposure to his interactions with Filipinos are invaluable. I have not yet been to the Philippines, but Michael has given me important preparation. Of course, because, well, over the years, and Scott has been watching my videos and for several years now, but also, Scott, I will tell you, Scott is a member of my Patreon community, and with a membership of $10 or above, my Patreons are entitled to one phone call each month from me, or more if necessary, and that I will call them on the phone if they have a phone in Australia or America. And if they have any questions, this is not negotiable. If they have any questions about the Philippines and I can help them with it, I'll spend as much time on the phone with them as possible. Whereas other bloggers, and I have been thinking about doing this as well, other bloggers are now charging, I think, I won't mention his name, but one gentleman is in Dumaguete. I think he said he's going to start doing phone support for the Philippines for $30 per hour. And then another man started out at $30 an hour, and I think he bumped it up. Now, I don't know if he did or not. Or I remember watching a video several months ago saying that come New Year's, he was going to bump it up higher than $30 an hour. So there are people out there willing to pay for information about the Philippines. But as a member of my Patreon community, whatever information I can supply you with, I do so for if you are a member at $10 or above. And I will tell you that Scott Del Fuego is nowhere near the $10 membership anymore. He bumped it up just about to, thank you, Scott. So Sincimo, I'm getting ready for my second time this year. Think with your big head and just enjoy and be safe. Flywoods. Section of lanes repaved here and see new pavements for yeah, that's another big, people. I have been asked. Actually, I was in court last week, and when I was leaving, one of the gentlemen said, I was hailing a tricycle, and he said, "What? You don't own a car?" And I said, "No, sir, I don't own a car." He said, "Why not?" I said, "Well, there are several reasons for that. Number one, I don't feel like being tied down to maintenance on repairing and or servicing an automobile. When I left America in 2013, I had a Cobra Mustang in the driveway, brand new. Well, it had 11,000 miles on it. I bought it new. I had a 1988 Chevy Sierra 3500 hydraulic dump truck, 3 yards, but I modified it to hold 6 yards. I had a 428B Caterpillar backhoe. I had a 1987 SR311 Formula Ocean Racer with twin 454 engines. I had a center console runabout boat for scuba diving and or sport fishing. I also had a Bobcat, and I had a drill rig for the Bobcat, and I had a 1970 pickup truck. And with the support trailers for said equipment, I had 64 tires to do maintenance on in America. So on any given day, I could have 1 or 2 either low air pressure tires or leaks, and that had to be repaired. But I also had 13 motors and 11 motors and 13 hydraulic systems to work on. I also had a Bobcat 300 welder and a Honda 8 horsepower pressure washer and a dozen other pieces of small equipment. I don't want to do any more maintenance. I don't wish to do. And now I'll tell you why I don't own a car here. Is number one, the insurance for a used car here is not up to par to pay for the hospital bills if I was to get into an accident. Number two, I can't drive here. I used to drive in Manhattan with a 16-foot step van, but I couldn't drive in the Philippines. I don't, not at my age, with the way people cut people off here. That doesn't bother me that they cut people off, but I just couldn't get used to being so aggressive whilst running a vehicle. It's just these people are very aggressive towards each other, and actually, I was on my way home from the court system when the man who got cut off, who was bringing me to from the Hall Capita building where the courts are, he was bringing me to the ICM mall so I could pick up some vegetables, gulai, Guli, gulai, and he got cut off, and it was the first time I ever saw a tricycle driver get upset. And the fella that cut him off was in another tricycle, but he actually ran us almost into the curb. And it was the first time in 6 years. This week is my 6th-year anniversary that I saw one tricycle driver get upset with another, where he screamed out, the tricycle driver screamed out at the other tricycle driver, something in their language. And the other guy didn't do it on purpose. He had tourists in his tricycle, and the whole tricycle was full of luggage, a man and a woman. He had no vision from his rearview mirror at all. There was just luggage in the luggage rack. So I only saw, but these people drive very aggressive here, and I couldn't drive like that. Now, when I start building the hotel, I probably will get a tricycle. I priced those out last week. A Honda or Yamaha motorcycle is exactly 91,000 pesos, just under $200. I mean, $2,000. And the tricycle cab for passenger service is 41,000 pesos. So that would bring it up to 131,000 pesos for the tricycle and the motorcycle. But I will be using a modified cab to hold supplies. So, and that would be so that I can go locally and pick up supplies. I don't know. I can't show you a picture of the modified cab. I have an idea. I know what I would want. I'll just talk to the welder and see what they can do. And that will be something I will be doing next year. But I will only drive that tricycle locally, and it will also have passenger capability. But it won't be a typical tricycle. It'll be a lumber tricycle. It'll be a piece of support equipment for the building of the hotel. But that's... Now, when we were in the city, Flywood's, to digress back to Flywood's comment, there was a section of lanes repaved here in CDO. New pavement is 4 or 5 inches lower than the other lane. Scooters are dropping like flies. Okay, so what they do is they'll build a new road, and whatever height the new road is, they'll make that new road that height. So the new road might be 12 inches higher, 18 inches higher, or 18 inches lower than the existing road. And then they'll change it to 1 lane for a mile, and they'll have a guard on on each end of the lane with radio communication, and they'll let traffic go one way or the other. However, for that entire stretch, could be a kilometer or a mile or 2 kilometers, for that entire stretch, the road will be uneven, but it'll be, one road will be here, and one road will be 4, 6, 10, 15 inches higher or lower than the other road. There will not be any barriers. There won't be any caution tape. There won't be any cones. They'll just put the road there. There won't be any lights on it at night. There won't be any marking other than it'll say road dips in certain areas, which whatever that means. But I mean, or that's what they'll do. So it's really dangerous to drive around here at night. And of course, I would be driving around at night, and my night vision is okay. I could probably drive around at night, but it's not what it used to be. And it's a lot easier to get a professional tricycle driver to drive me back and forth to the city for $6 one way. And then I don't have to do maintenance on a tricycle, or pay insurance, or pay for fuel, or pay for tire repair. So until I need one, I won't buy one. But the reason I don't drive here is because that 6 or 4 or 10 or 18-inch unevenness of the road, if you don't see that at night because it's raining, because you just took your eye off the road for a second and your car falls off to the side, all those damages are on you. The onus is on you. I'm not gonna do that. And there's no insurance that covers stuff like that for a used vehicle. Well, there wasn't 2 years ago when I looked into it. So I don't. But what Flywood says is true. They'll just put a new road 10. The new road could be 18 inches higher. Now you're running down the road, and if you go to the left or to the right, whatever, you'll run into the side of a new road and destroy the side of your car and your tires. It's crazy. Driving here, you really need to be want to have a car here, and you really need to have a car here, because it's just so much cheaper to just rent a tricycle. It's $6 to go to the city, 20 kilometers, and you just sit there and you can do your paperwork or play on your cell phone, or I make my notes, what I need in the city, and I review my notes, where I make notes for every. Oh, that's something I wanted to talk about. Notes. Here's a typical note. This is typical notes for the day here. Okay. This is my Build-A-Wear book. Okay. Milwaukee battery charger. I need pan, which is bread. I have to go to the bank and check on how to transfer funds from Australia to the Philippines. I had to go to ICM to get gulai vegetables. I needed to send money to Daisy. I needed a load for my Smart and my Globe phone, and I also needed to go to the visa office to pick up my passport that I dropped off, I think December 21st or 18th. It's been a while, but I picked it up. And I also, aside from picking up my visa, I wanted to ask the gentleman if they were ever going to do 6-month extension in Bohol. And the answer is no, they're never going to do it. They did have a service to do 6-month extension, but they don't have it anymore. Wait, let me go to Page High, because Dr. Page High is his time. I'm sorry, Page, I didn't get to this comment that was down below. So this is what taking notes. So I have 10 items on this list. 2 of them I won't read you, but it's hard to remember what to do. Successful people make notes. All successful. Dr. Page High makes notes. When I go to the court system, the people in the courtrooms make notes. When I go to the NBI office, they take notes. When I go to the dentist, he makes notes about my teeth. He reviews my teeth. He takes notes on my teeth. Then he talks to the nurse, and then he does his x-rays. He takes notes. When I make a job, when I'm going to do a job, I make a list of what I need to buy for the job. I can't remember everything, and I don't wait till 10 minutes from now. When I remember that I need to put something to buy something, I write it down right away. I just stop what I'm doing. I walk over to my book and I make notes. Notes are what successful and intelligent people do. So for those of you who are ridiculing me about making notes, I assure you that, let's say you were involved in a court case. Well, the judge and the stenographer are going to take notes. If you have a lawyer, your lawyer is going to take notes. You have to make notes for your lawyer. So this is what successful people do. They take notes. Why am I hearing in so many places that I am crazy? Because I make notes about the things that are important to me during the course of the day. Why am I repeatedly hearing that I have to listen to that nonsense? Every single successful person in the world got to their level of success by making notes. And I'll leave it at that. Page High, Dr. Page High. It's so true. The curbing is so bad. Okay, so here we go. Page High says, it's so true. The curbing is so bad, I fell right next to a prestigious part of Makati, next to the Century City Medical and Trump Tower, Makati. For me, an ankle sprain, but your tips are dead accurate. Okay, so he's a doctor, and he had an ankle sprain. But let's just say that he broke his ankle. Now your doctor is not available to help you. And now you may need your doctor. This is why I make the videos about the streets and tourist destinations of the Philippines. Scott Del Fuego says hello to Jack Thompson. Early appearance this evening. Yeah, it's early because I have things to do in the city. And I wanted to give an update on Warren's message to me, Jack. Woods is absolutely correct. And what the Catholic Church has done over the years, if a priest has been accused of pedophilia, they will say that they will subjugate the priest to their rules in some fashion, and what they'll do is they'll move their priests to a different location, and that's about it. That's typically what they do. They very rarely will they excommunicate a priest or a cardinal or a bishop if they have been accused of pedophilia. They will pay a fine, and they will make an out-of-court settlement with a non-disclosure agreement. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. This is an important subject for me. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to Google Vatican settlements on pedophilia. All right, so I Googled Vatican's. Okay, here we go. I Googled Vatican settlements on pedophiles. Percentage of priests accused. How many Catholic priests have been accused? Clergy abuse statistics. How many Catholic priests have been accused worldwide? How many priests are in jail? How much has the Catholic paid to abuse victims? Let's go to that one because that's what I mentioned. Okay, so $500 million up to the mid-1990s. Now, I heard it was $10 billion, and I said $10 billion, so that was, but this is only up to the 1990s. There have been many, many other cases. This figure grew to $1 billion in 2002, with a $615 million on sex abuse cases in 2007. So how many priests have been abused? 382 priests with 625 children, mostly under the age of 16. All right, so I'll put that link there. Well, and then, so you can see that what I said about, now, I was wrong. I said $10 billion, but I read somewhere that privately other monies were given to people, and it's closer to $10 billion. Now, I don't know where that article is, so I'll retract my original $10 billion statement, but just understand that the Catholic Church pays out a lot of money in fines and hush money, they call it. Page High says, I appreciate that you actually talk to people. Your interactions are one take without editing and prefabricated storylines. Thank you, Page High. Page High says, I appreciate that you actually talk to people. Your interactions are one take without editing and prefabricated storylines. Well, I don't have a lot of time to do editing, but thank you, Page High. That's the difference between your interactions over other vloggers. Thank you, Page High. That was a nice comment. Coming from a doctor, that's a very high regarded compliment. Thank you very much, Page High. So, Jack Thompson. Jack Thompson is all over the internet. Whenever he sees anybody saying anything negative about Michael Fazio, it doesn't matter where it is. Jack Thompson has always had my back, just like Ed Lippert. And Jack Thompson will say that Michael Fazio is the best blogger in the Philippines. And I happen to agree to some degree. I'm an okay blogger or vlogger in my live streams and my blogs, but when it comes to my actual content on my YouTube page, I have the greatest selection of eclectic videos in the world on YouTube. And there's no doubt about that. No one else has written a book proving that the dollar bill was created for a specific purpose and what that purpose was. No one else. And if they wrote a book on the dollar bill, they certainly didn't own a barge and crane service or a pile driving rig on the ocean or off. They didn't own an ocean racer. They didn't own Cobra Mustangs. They didn't own houses in Key Largo. They may have done any 2 or 3 of the 50 or so of my world's accomplishments, but they didn't do all of them. So, and I have video content proving all of what I just said. So as far as varied opinions and varied videos on YouTube, no one comes close. No one in the world, no one on YouTube, of all the billions of videos and millions of channels, no one comes anywhere near close to the content and eclectic content that I have. Barges, cranes, tugboats, walking, steel, ocean racing, repair, equipment repair, hydraulic equipment repair, hydraulic filter repair, hydraulic hose repair, running the machine down the road, US 1, and running a backhoe and ripping up roots of trees and digging for Hess sewer. I had a contract for the Hess gas station line, doing Hess work, installing, cables for the U.S. Air Force on the Boca Chica Naval Air Force Station. Anybody has done any one of those things, but no one has done all of them. And in that respect, I have the greatest channel on YouTube. Take that to the bank. So Page High says, agreed. So Jack Thompson says, Michael Fazio has the most interactive channel in the community. He actually takes the time to respond to his viewers. Well, I do so to the best of my ability. And when I don't know, I Google it. Like, just like I just Googled that link for the Catholic Church, which is too big. It's too big to post. It's 287 characters. So you just have to Google pedophilia settlements, Vatican pedophilia, and you'll come to the page. Agreed, Jack Thompson from Page High. A certain failed, Jack Thompson, here we go. A certain failed, quote unquote, YouTuber would never interact with his audience. In fact, he has more blocked viewers than actual subscribers. Fact. Thank you, Jack. So wherever Jack is on the internet, whenever he sees somebody starting to give me a backhanded or left-handed compliment, which we're going to talk about in a minute, Jack will always stick up for me to the greatest degree on YouTube, on the internet. But Ed Lippert, if he sees somebody abusing my name or my channel, Ed Lippert will say, Michael Fazio is a good guy. And thank you for that, Ed and Jack. So there's a guy out there who said I blocked him because he made one comment. Well, I'll have to, and he comes from Cebu, and he has his opinion about a third party, and I have my opinion about a third party. This is what you get on YouTube. You get liars, and you get people that are incapable of comprehending the actual truth of what was said and what that third party did. So this particular third party from Cebu, who I blocked last week, and then I left a comment on my live stream. I have rules on my live streams and in my video comments. I will not allow my commenters or comments to name another channel or a person. I won't allow it. So this particular blogger from Cebu, he has a tendency to go to someone's channel and make a comment about every 45 seconds. Now that's trolling until the host observes his comments, and before long, the interaction is only between the host and this one person. Everybody else's comments are insignificant. And then if a link is put out, this party will go on and take over the live stream. I've seen him do it on several occasions. This is his MO. Why he does it, I won't say. But I have my theory as to why he does it. However, so he was leaving multiple comments, one every 45 seconds, because I checked. I went back to the live stream and I counted. So every 45 seconds, I was getting a comment or more, or closer than 45 seconds, this blah, 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 about basically nothing. And I said, look, I'm not going to read all your comments. Your comments don't have anything to do with what I'm interested in. You have your own agenda. You're always trying to take over somebody else's live stream. You're not going to do that to me. You can make as many comments as you want, as long as you keep it clean. And quote, and you don't mention anybody's name or channel name. That's what I said. So now this third party from Cebu believes that I'm not watching the comments anymore because I'm way back up in the comments. And now he's going to post somebody else's name and channel and a description of what he believes is going on between myself and a second party. And I just happened to hit the down arrow by mistake when I was scrolling, and I went straight down to the bottom, which was like 30 comments from where I was. And this third party is mentioning names and circumstances that I just told him do not mention names or channel names. And he did it. And I blocked him. And not only did I block him, under no circumstances will he ever be allowed to come back on my channel, because I gave him a direct order, statement, specific request. However you want to say it, it is so clear. Do not mention people's names or channels in the comments. And he did exactly that, thinking I wouldn't see the comment. So he directly defied my request to specifically don't disparage another person without proof. And he did it anyway. So he will never come back on my channel. There will not be an instance where he will say, I'm sorry. No, and he won't do it. And he won't say sorry because he's made several commentaries that I blocked him because he said hello. That's not why I blocked him. I blocked him for what I just explained to you. Do not leave people's names or any situation that's going on between any other parties on my channel without proof. And he did it. He did it anyway. So he can run his own channel and his own live streams and do his own thing, but you will never, ever see him on my channel again. And there are reasons for that. Not only do I disagree with his opinion, which is his opinion, and it's okay for him to have it, but I don't understand his opinion. Okay, so if I don't understand something, I won't allow it until I can figure out where the connection and why the connection exists is, and for what end goal is the connection, does the connection exist? So Jack Thompson, thank you for the comment. All right, so oh boy, I see the great Dennis Adams in the house. He definitely allows viewers to drive. Okay, Scott Del Fuego. He definitely allows the viewers to drive part of the dialogue if they make a reasonable and intelligent contribution and are not trolls. He is passionate and gets his topic meta out, but allows input. Thank you, Scott. Now, Scott is referring to myself. Mad Max Risen, Fish Eye Lens. Okay. Stephen Rogers. Hello, Michael. Where is Daisy? Well, I've explained to you hundreds of times where Daisy is. No, not hundreds, several times. Go back and review my last 2 live streams. It pretty much covers it, where Daisy is and why she's there. You said page is curved. I'm thinking flat earth. Page is curved. What page? Mad Max, I'm not following you. Page. What is this word page? A page is a piece of paper. Okay. Thank you, Scott, for replying to Stephen Rogers. But you should know that Stephen Rogers is a troll and asks that question in multiple videos and multiple live streams. But as long as he keeps it clean, it's a legitimate question, and you gave him a good answer. I'm taking notes right now. I can't help it. Jack Thompson, we're digressing back to taking notes. All in your face, in your face, in your face. All successful people take notes. During the course of a day, any successful person is going to make 10,000 decisions. They have to take notes in order to remember the more important decisions. Scott, the question is probably better. Scott Del Fuego says the question is probably better phrased. What is the dollar amount disclosed settlements the church has made in sexual abuse cases? Anybody take Scott's question and post it there and see for yourself. Dennis Adams, notes are Dennis Adams. Welcome to the machine. Dennis Adams, notes are good to have, Scott Del Fuego. See what I said about Stephen Rogers, Scott? He's just trolling here. He's going to get you off topic. And that's why he is here. He's here to get you off topic. And I will show people now. Scott explained that Daisy's in Mindanao and Stephen Rogers can go to my previous live stream for the information. But I'm going to go to Stephen Rogers' page right now. And I'm pretty sure Stephen Rogers has no account, no content, no videos, no liked videos, and probably just one subscriber. So we're waiting for the page to load. And if I see that, then I will show you how to block troll, and then they can make a new account. So right now we're waiting for Stephen Rogers' page to load. And here it goes, 35 subscribers. Has no videos, no content, no videos at all, no playlists. And now he doesn't have the ability to post on my channel anymore. I don't care how long he's been on YouTube, he's a troll. So I'm going to push that flag. I'm going to block the user. I'm going to submit it. And Stephen Rogers is now ancient history. That is 2 questions on this live stream. His question has been answered in videos. When he left a comment, I answered his question, and then he comes back with the same question to disrupt my mental focus. Mathis Mista, I remember that name. Hi, by Oy vey. Mad Max, Philippines is pretty much the Catholic Church. That's true. Dennis Adams, only a very small part is the Church of the Holy Hope. Oh, I can't do that. I have to go to the city. Actually, it's getting really late for me. I'll remind me in the beginning of my live stream. I'll do the Holy Hole thing. Okay. All right. Well, Stephen Rogers says, I have you confused with someone else. Is that true? Well, you know what? Let's go. We'll unblock Stephen if that's not him. I could have him confused. So we're going to go to Stephen Rogers' channel and we're going to unblock him. So you had to unblock somebody. So you go to their channel. It could be. I mean, he left an intelligent comment. So Daisy is in Mindanao. All right, so you go to the About page. You go to the flag. You go to unblock user, and you submit. Okay, so if what you said is true, it may very well be true. I apologize. I don't remember every name, but somebody with a name like yours is constantly asking me about Daisy. I'll answer the question. She's in Mindanao. She's living in Mindanao, and she's doing something else altogether than Michael Fazio and Daisy May. Okay? That should answer your question. Thanks for stopping by. And it's an intelligent question. It's actually a logical question. It's actually a valid question. But it's a question that has been answered 50 or 60 times, as Scott said, ad nauseum. How many times does it have to be expressed that Daisy and I no longer make videos together? We're still good friends, but we're no longer making videos together. So, DNC, welcome to the machine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have to get ready to go to the city. I have paperwork to present, and I also have to purchase some fresh vegetables. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. If you're not subscribed, Stephen Rogers, I apologize. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. If you're going to push the thumbs up or thumbs down button, please do so at all times. You're welcome, Stephen Rogers. Yeah, no, I don't. Stephen Rogers, I have 18,700 subscribers. I can't possibly remember everybody's name. And if I make a mistake, I'm more than happy to correct it. And apparently, because you made an intelligent comment describing the circumstances, I would take it as a valid comment. Thank you very much for taking the time to explain it. Okay, where can we watch the game in the Philippines? Ugly American. The Philippines is pretty big. Just Google sports bar in your local community. There's almost every local community in a city area or, you know, tourist area has "Have a good day, Mithis Mista. I remember you." Like in Alona Beach, there's 2 sports bars. And then DNC says broadcasting on ESPN. I don't watch sports. I'll give you a little factoid about me. I have never, ever, not one time ever watched a Seinfeld show, which is basically a show that is completely useless to mankind. And he even admitted it's a show about nothing. I have never watched an Oprah Winfrey show, ever, never. Segments, seconds, 10, 15-second blips. Those 2 shows, in my opinion, are the 2 most worthless shows that ever existed in the history of television. More specifically, Seinfeld, because it doesn't enhance the human mind in any way, shape, or form. And the reason for that, the difference between the Oprah Winfrey show and the Seinfeld show, Oprah Winfrey did not follow the 7-second time bite method of operation on TV. There's something called the 7-second rule. Never will you ever see on these shows a dialogue for more than 7 seconds that are focused on the person's face for 7 seconds. Very rarely will you ever see that. And the reason for that is because that's what they have determined, that people's mental acuity and their ability to focus for 7 seconds. Because of television, it was 7-second bit, a bit of piece of information. So Archie Bunker, who at least posted stuff that was real life, as opposed to that worthless content in Seinfeld, which had it was nothing. It was just totally worthless dribble for the most part. That's why people like it, because most people that watch Seinfeld have no mental acuity whatsoever, and that's what they need. They need those 3-4 second sound bites. So Oprah Winfrey would at least carry the content or the nature of a specific topic. She would talk about something for 30 or 45 seconds. But Archie Bunker would have actual, he was being facetious, but he was talking about real things. But Seinfeld, you watch Seinfeld and you'll see them have zoom in on Jerry Seinfeld or whatever, and for 3 seconds, blah, 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 and then it goes to somebody else, blah, 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 and then it goes to some. It's reducing the mind's ability to focus with those short bites of information. It's destroying the people's mental acuity throughout the world. And I also have a theory about cell phones and why they make people text and they don't allow people to talk here in the Philippines. You could spend your entire day texting somebody back and forth for 8 hours for what you could confer back and forth in one conversation in 30 minutes or 20 minutes. You could spend 8 hours texting somebody messages back and forth with what you could confer with them in 10 minutes if you have a conversation. They are doing this to destroy the mental acuity of the human mind. Seinfeld is a perfect example of how the IQ of the average person in this world has been reduced to next to nothing. I don't care how much money he makes, but Seinfeld is a worthless show unless you relate to worthless shows. Then, in fact, Seinfeld is a show that you need to watch because you like worthless shows, and Seinfeld is a worthless show. Therefore, the worthlessness is combined to become more worthless. I don't know. But I got to tell you, I don't watch television. This is where I was going. I don't watch sports. I don't watch football. I have never, not one time, ever turned on a football game and watched a football game. Ever. Been to 3 football games. They're fun to watch in real life. Never have I ever watched a football game. I have never turned on a baseball game. Never on television and watched a baseball game. The last baseball game I saw was in 1969. It was the game before the last game of the World Series, and I got the horn and the hat. The 1969. That's the last time I watched a baseball game, in 1969. I will watch golf. I will watch tennis, because golf is putting a ball a half a mile away in 3 shots. I find that amazing. And tennis, anybody that's ever tried to play tennis, that's really, it's a really athletic sport. So, all right, I really need to go. I have my notebooks from 1970s, Jack. Ugly. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say goodbye. It's going to take, in 10 seconds, I'm going to be saying umping permi. So this is Michael Fazio in the Philippines, baby, without Daisy May. But you should note that Daisy May still receives half the proceeds from the super chat and the super stickers and our videos, because Daisy May created those videos with me, and that's called residuals. So thanks for watching. 10 seconds is up. I'm Ping Permy from Michael Fazio and Daisy May. Bye-bye.